If you can train your mind to stay clear under pressure, you can win in any situation, because nothing outside you will ever have the power to break you inside. That's not just a quote, that's the truth most people never learn. They focus on fixing everything around them, jobs, routines, people, but never take control of what really matters, their mind. If your thinking is weak, your emotions will run your life. If your thoughts are scattered, you'll keep falling behind. But if your mind is sharp, steady, and trained, you become someone who doesn't break, doesn't panic, and doesn't quit. This audiobook isn't here to entertain you, it's here to wake you up. It's here to help you build the kind of mindset that performs under pressure, that stays calm in chaos, and that knows how to win when nothing's going right. You don't need hype, you need structure, you need a new standard, and it all starts right now, with learning how to train your mind to win in every situation. Chapter 1: Own your day by thinking strong right after waking. Own your day by thinking strong right after waking. That's the starting point, that's where it begins. That if you can win your first hour, you can win your entire day. Most people wake up and let their mind drift. They think about problems, they reach for their phone, they let outside noise fill their head before they've even stood up. And that's the first mistake, because what you do in that first hour shapes your direction, it sets the tone, and your mind is either going to work for you or against you, based on what you feed it right after waking up. You've got to decide right now. You've got to treat that first hour like it's the foundation of everything, because it is. And here's the truth. If you wake up with negative thinking, if you wake up doubting yourself, if you wake up sluggish and careless, your day is already behind. But if you wake up and take command of your thoughts, you begin to build a mind that wins, and that kind of mind doesn't get shaken by noise. It doesn't give in when things get tough. It stays ready. It stays sharp, and it's prepared to handle the day. Now, I'm not talking about motivation. I'm talking about direction. I'm talking about clarity. I'm talking about waking up and knowing what you're about. Waking up and deciding how you're going to think, because you can either let the world push you around, or you can set your thoughts and lead yourself. Most people don't lead themselves. They wait for the day to tell them how to feel. They check messages, they scroll. They get triggered. And by the time they look up, they've already lost control of their emotions. That's not a strong mind. That's a passive mind. And a passive mind doesn't win. You have to be intentional. That means when you wake up, you decide what kind of day you're going to create. You decide how you're going to respond, you choose what thoughts deserve your attention, and you shut out the rest. It's about getting clear before the world tries to confuse you. It's about grounding yourself before anything can shake you, and the earlier you do this, the stronger your grip on the rest of your day. Here's a real step you can take. When you wake up, before you touch anything, before your feet hit the floor, take a minute to speak truth to yourself, real truth, not empty hype. Say, today I'm going to stay clear. Today I'm going to push forward, today I'm not giving energy to useless thinking. And mean it. Because you don't need 10-hour soft planning, you don't need fancy tools. You need a decision. A real one. And it starts the moment your eyes open. You've got to build that mental sharpness like a muscle. And the first hour is your training ground. That's your space. That's your time to get centered. No one else gets to write your story that morning unless you hand them the pen, and too many people give it away. They start their day reacting to everyone else. You can't win like that. You can't build strength by reacting. You build strength by leading your own mind. So here's the challenge. No phone for the first hour. No messages. No distractions, just your thoughts, your goals, your direction. Review your plan. Think about what matters, think about how you want to show up. Remind yourself what you're after and tell yourself, today I'm going to act like it. That's what strong people do, they don't wait until the day falls apart to get serious. They start serious. They begin with discipline, they begin with focus. And it shows in everything they do. Now listen. You're not always going to feel like it. That's the second test. Some mornings you'll wake up tired. Some mornings your mind will try to talk you out of it. That's the weaker self trying to pull you back. And if you let it win in the morning, it'll show up all day. So when it shows up, recognize it, catch it, and push past it. Remind yourself, I run my life. I set the tone that I choose my thoughts. That's how you build mental strength. That's how you stop being owned by your emotions. The reason so many people don't change is because they let the first thoughts of the day control them. They don't guard their mind. They don't take that hour seriously, and that 1 hour becomes one weekday. And that weekday becomes a week. And before they know it, they've lost months of progress, all because they didn't think strong right after waking up. So what should you do? Keep it simple. Start with awareness. Know what kind of thoughts you're thinking in the morning. Write them down if you have to. Pay attention to the story you're telling yourself. Is it strong? Is it focused? Is it helping you? If not, change it. That's your job. No one else can hat for you, and when you shift your thinking, your energy shifts. Your attitude shifts. You stop dragging through the day and start driving through it. Another thing, get up with purpose. Don't hit snooze. Don't delay, get out of bed like someone who's serious about their life. Because how you start is how you finish. That first step sets everything in motion, and when you get up strong, you give your mind a signal. We're not here to coast. We're here to grow. That message sticks. And your brain starts to align with it. Also, keep your space clean, keep your environment focused. The less clutter you see, the less noise in your head. Your mind reflects what you surround it with. So if your morning feels messy, look around. Clean it up. Create space where your thoughts can breathe. That's not extra. That's essential. Strong minds are built in strong environments. This isn't just about motivation. This is strategy. It's what winners do. They guard their mornings. They train their thinking. They don't let the world decide how they feel, they choose their mindset. And when you build that habit, when you choose to think strong right after waking, you start building a mind that can win in any situation. And here's what's most powerful: once you do it for a while, it gets easier. Your brain starts to expect it. It starts to cooperate, and you begin to feel different. You walk with more control. You stop getting thrown around by little problems, you begin to think clearly. You begin to act with strength. And every day you do it, you prove to yourself that you can lead your life. So if you want to train your mind to win, start with the moment you open your eyes. Don't waste that first hour. Don't start slow. Don't hand your mind over to distraction. Start with power. Start with direction, start with strength. And don't just do it once. Do it again tomorrow. Do it until your mind knows how to win without needing permission. That's when you've really built something. That's when the outside world can't shake what's built inside. Train your mind right after waking, and soon you'll start winning every time. Protect your focus. Be turning off all distractions. Most people lose their day not because they don't have enough time, but because they don't know how to protect their focus. They keep letting little things pull them in every direction. And it happens so quickly they don't even notice it. One notification point, one message. One scroll. One thought about something that doesn't matter, and just like that, they're distracted. Their mind is split. Their energy is scattered, and now they're moving through the day reacting instead of leading. You can't build anything meaningful like that. If you want to win in life, you have to be serious about protecting your focus. Distractions are not just minor issues. They're barriers between where you are and where you want to be. Every time you stop to check something that doesn't matter, every time you respond to something that isn't urgent, every time you let something steal your attention, you are giving away your power. You're giving away your clarity. And your mind loses sharpness. Not because you're not capable, but because you're not guarding your space. If you want to develop a mind that wins, you have to remove what weakens it. That means turning off what doesn't serve your purpose. And you know exactly what those things are. You don't need someone to tell you what your distractions are. You feel it. You know when your mind is being pulled in the wrong direction, you know when you're wasting time. You know when you're avoiding the work that matters. That's where discipline comes in. You can't wait to feel like focusing. You have to choose to focus, even when everything around you tries to break it. Start with your environment. If your phone keeps buzzing, turn it off. If social media keeps pulling you in, delete the app. If noise is all around you, find a quiet space. Don't negotiate with your distractions. Cut them. If something is pulling you away from your goals, it doesn't deserve your time. You don't need to explain it. You don't need to justify it. You just need to act. That's how you protect your mind. That's how you keep yourself clear. Because once you let one small distraction in, more will follow, and soon, you'll be spending your energy on things that mean nothing. You don't need a perfect system. You just need to start valuing your time. Stop letting everyone have access to you. You're not here to answer every call. You're not here to scroll through endless noise. You're here to grow. You're here to work on yourself. You're here to move forward, and, if anything stands in the way of that, it needs to go. This is not about being rude. It's about being responsible for your own focus. Responsible for your own improvement. When your mind is clear, you feel stronger, you get more done. You make better decisions. You stop second-guessing yourself, you stop rushing. You begin to move with purpose. Not everything is an emergency, not everything needs your attention. You have to stop giving your mind to things that drain you. Some conversations don't need to happen, some messages don't need a reply. Some notifications don't need to be seen. And once you understand that, your life begins to change. Your mental space is like your room. If it's filled with junk, there's no room to move. No room to think. But when it's clean, you feel better. You move faster. You're not tripping over things that don't belong there. It's the same with your mind. If you want to think better, you need to protect your focus like it matters. You wouldn't let strangers walk into your house uninvited. Don't let random distractions walk into your brain and take over. Give yourself blocks of time where nothing gets in. That's your time to focus, to think, to work, to grow, and during that time, make a rule. No checking, no switching, no reacting. Just doing what matters. If something is truly urgent, it will find its way through. But 99% of what tries to steal your focus isn't urgent. It's just noise dressed up to feel important, and if you don't control that, you'll live your life bouncing between things that mean nothing. Protecting your focus doesn't mean isolating yourself from the world. It means deciding what deserves your energy and what doesn't. It means choosing depth over noise. It means giving your full mind to what you value. When you do that, you feel different. You stop feeling drained. You stop feeling lost. You start feeling progress, you start feeling momentum. You begin to trust yourself more because you're following through. You're not just busy. You're becoming effective. There's a big difference between being busy and being focused. Busy means your mind is jumping from one thing to the next, focused means you're locked in on what matters. Most people live busy. They think it's the same as working hard, but real hard work is focused work. It's quiet. It's clear, and it produces results. You can scroll all day and feel like you're doing something. But you'll end the day empty. Focus doesn't give you that feeling. Focus fills you. It sharpens you. It gives you something to stand on. You've got to be ruthless about your time. Not in a harsh way, but in a disciplined way. People who win don't get lucky. They get serious. They protect their energy, they cut what slows them down. They know the value of a clear mind. And they don't let distractions decide how their day will go. That's the level you need to aim for. The level where you don't tolerate habits that pull you away from who you want to become. It starts with simple decisions. Keep your phone in another room while working. Turn off notifications that serve no purpose. Schedule your thinking time and protect it like a meeting with your future. Stop opening tabs you don't need. Stop checking messages that can wait. These may feel small, but they build a stronger you. They train your mind to stay with the task, to go deeper. And that's when growth happens. You don't rise by chance. You rise by choice. You rise by doing the things that most people skip. Focus is one of those things. It's a habit that separates the ones who make progress from the who stay stuck. You can't afford to lose hours each day to distraction. That's your life slipping through your fingers. That's your vision being delayed. Every hour spent unfocused is an hour you don't get back. So choose now. Decide what you're willing to remove. Decide what habits need to be broken. Choose to stop giving your attention to things that have nothing to do with your goals. You're not here to chase noise. You're here to build a life that matters. You're here to shape a mindset that wins. And that kind of mind needs focus. Not once, not sometimes. Every day. Guard your mind like it's the most valuable thing you have, because it is. Your future depends on how you use it. So stop handing it away to distractions. Train it to stay strong. Train it to stay with the task. Train it to push through boredom. That's how winners think. That's how winners work. And that's how you start living the life you know you're capable of. Most people want to grow. But they don't want discomfort. They want strength without struggle. They want progress without pressure. But it doesn't work like that. If you want to be tough, you have to earn it. You have to build it. And the only way to build it is by doing what makes you uncomfortable, not once in a while, not when it's convenient, but every single day. That's how you build a mind that doesn't break under pressure. That's how you train yourself to face life and not run from it. You can't wait for life to get easier. You have to get stronger. You have to start doing the hard things. Not because they're fun, but because they build something in you. Every time you lean into discomfort, you gain something. You grow patience. You build resilience. You stretch your limits. And most of all, you learn that you're capable of more than you thought. But if you avoid what's uncomfortable, you never see what's possible. You stay small. You stay soft. And your potential stays locked away. Toughness isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. You build it by facing the cold instead of staying warm. You build it by having the hard conversation instead of avoiding it. You build it by getting up early when your body wants to stay in bed. You build it by pushing through the last few reps when your mind says quit. And every time you do that, you get stronger. Not just physically, mentally, emotionally. You become a person who doesn't run from pressure but walks into it with your head up. Discomfort shows you who you are. It shows you where you stand. And it's honest that it doesn't lie to you. When you're doing something that stretches you, you feel every part of yourself come to the surface. Your doubts, your excuses, your fears, they all show up, and that's the moment you grow. Not by avoiding them but by walking through them. You prove to yourself that you're not here to play safe. You're here to rise. You're here to lead yourself. You're here to take the pressure and keep going. Doing what's uncomfortable isn't about being reckless. It's about being committed. Committed to becoming better, committed to doing what most people won't. Because that's where the edge is. That's where you separate yourself. The ones who get ahead are not always the most talented. They're the ones who are willing to do what's hard without waiting for the perfect moment. They take the cold shower, they make the tough call. They train when it hurts. They put in the work when nobody's watching. And over time, that kind of discipline builds real strength. You don't need a massive challenge to grow toughness. Start with what's right in front of you. Choose to finish the task you've been putting off. Say no to the comfort that pulls you backward. Speak the truth when it's easier to stay quiet. Lift the weight that feels heavy. Take the path that demands more effort. These small actions, repeated daily, stack up. They build a foundation of grit. And that foundation holds you up when life hits hard. Comfort is sneaky. It tells you you're fine where you are. It tells you to relax. It whispers that you've done enough, but deep down, you know the truth. You know you've got more to give. You know the easy way out won't take you where you want to go, and that's why you need to challenge yourself on purpose. Don't wait for life to force you. Put yourself in situations that demand more. Practice showing up when it's inconvenient. That's where toughness is formed. Becomes great by staying in their comfort zone. No greatness is built in the moments when you feel like giving up, but choose to keep going. It's built in the mornings you don't want to move but push through anyway. It's built in the discipline to face your weak areas and fix them, and that takes courage. That takes a decision to be more than what's easy. That takes a choice to put in the reps day after day, even when there's no spotlight, no praise, and no applause. You don't have to do something extreme to build toughness. You just need to stop running from what's hard. That's it. You need to stop making comfort your goal. Make growth your goal. And growth never comes without discomfort. The more you avoid what's hard, the weaker you become. But the more you face it, the stronger you get. Not just in your body, but in your will, and your will is what carries you when motivation fades. There's power in doing what you don't feel like doing. Because every time you do, you're proving to yourself that your feelings don't control you. You're proving that you can show up regardless of how you feel. And that's what builds trust with yourself. You stop negotiating, you stop overthinking. You start acting. That's what tough people do. They don't need to feel perfect. They just need to move. Most people wait for the right mood, but moods are unreliable. Discipline isn't. You can't wait to feel like pushing yourself. You push yourself until it becomes normal. Until it becomes who you are. And eventually the things that used to feel impossible start to feel like the standard. That's growth. That's the result of choosing what's uncomfortable again and again. You can tell a lot about someone by what they do when no one is watching. That's where toughness is visible. Not in public. Not in front of others, but in private. When no one sees the effort and you show up anyway. You do the extra set, you write one more page. You stick to your plan. That kind of character is rare, but it's what separates those who rise from those who stay average. You won't always get it right. Some days you'll avoid what's hard. Some days you'll fall short. But that's not what defines you. What matters is how you respond. Do you go back and do better? Do you keep building? Do you stay committed? If you do, you'll see something powerful happen. Your mind stops doubting. Your spirit grows stronger, your confidence becomes unshakable. Not because everything is easy, but because you've proven that you can do what's hard. And here's what most people don't understand. Discomfort isn't the enemy. It's the training ground. It's where your real strength gets built. The days you want to quit and don't, those are the days that change you. Those are the days that teach you who you are. So if you want to get tough, don't wait for the perfect challenge. Make today your training. Find one thing that pushes you, and do it without hesitation. Start small if you need to. Just make sure you start. Do one thing each day that stretches your mind or body. One thing that makes you nervous. One thing that forces you to level up. That kind of consistency builds grit, and grit builds winners. You weren't made to stay the same. You were made to grow, and growth demands challenge. So instead of fearing discomfort, start choosing it. Start letting it shape you into someone stronger, not just for today. Because when your mind is trained to face what's uncomfortable, nothing can stop you. You become the kind of person who doesn't break, you bend. You adjust. But you keep going. And in the end, you don't just survive. You rise. Chapter 4. Say what you mean and mean what you say. If you want to build a strong mind and a strong life, you must start by becoming someone whose words actually mean something. Say what you mean and mean what you say. That's not just about honesty. It's about identity. It's about becoming someone people trust. More importantly, it's about becoming someone you can trust, because every time you say something and don't follow through, you're not just letting others down. You're weakening your own belief in yourself. And over time, that becomes a habit. A dangerous one. It turns into self-doubt. It chips away at your confidence, and eventually, you start questioning everything you say, even to yourself. Your words carry weight. Or at least they should. Every promise you make, every commitment you speak, every goal you declare. It all matters, but only if you back it up, otherwise, it's just noise. And you don't want to be known as someone full of noise. You want to be known as someone who stands behind their words, someone who says it once and then shows it through action. That kind of person earns respect, that kind of person becomes solid, that kind of person becomes rare. It starts by thinking before you speak. Don't make promises you don't plan to keep. Don't commit to things just to sound good. Don't say yes when you know the answer is no. Be clear. Be direct. Be real. That kind of clarity makes life simple. It removes confusion. It removes guilt. And it builds character. People trust those who are straight with their words and consistent with their actions. And even more than that, you begin to trust yourself. Most people don't struggle with knowing what to do, they struggle with doing what they said they'd do. And it's because they've trained themselves to ignore their own voice. They say they'll wake up early, but they don't. They say they'll start the project, but delay it. They say they'll stop the bad habit, but repeat it again tomorrow. And the more they do this, the harder it becomes to believe in their own potential. The gap between their words and their actions grows wider. And that gap turns into frustration. It turns into disappointment, and eventually it becomes normal. But it doesn't have to stay that way. You can rebuild that connection. You can become the kind of person who lives in alignment. Who doesn't have to convince others they'll follow through. Because it's already expected, and it starts with something simple. Only say what you mean. That means, if you say you're going to do something, you do it. If you say you'll be somewhere, you show up. If you give your word, you honor it. Even when it's hard, especially when it's hard.